Welcome, guys, to Rebel Rock. I am Dan. This is our weekly hangout. We go through some music. Today we get a fun episode because of late I've been discovering a ton of new oi punk bands out there. The scene right now, it's kind of exploding again all over the world. Actually, I got a bunch of records from all over the place, bands that are inspiring me right now, and it's wonderful. If you guys don't know, oi music is it's a subgenre of punk rock. It would have been right there in the late '70s. Bands that were on the forefront of it. You would have had like Sham 69, Cockspar. So those type of bands. If you're not familiar with the movement, look it up. There's a lot of great music. It's pretty much taking the original punk rock formula, throwing in a little bit of glam, a little bit of pub rock. It's good. It's good. The subject matter normally caters towards working class. And obviously skinhead culture ties in a lot with it, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't. It's not exclusive to oi music. So I got a bunch of records. We're gonna dive into them. This first album is from a band from California that formed just a couple years ago, and they're called Slugger. And this is their debut 10-inch record right here. 6 songs, 14 minutes, just how I like it. I found these guys on Spotify. It was one of the suggested artists from one of the other bands that I was listening to, and I checked them out and loved it. Kind of lo-fi oi punk stuff. The subject matter's great. Smart lyrics. What this reminds me of, if you like bands like Templars, which maybe you don't know, they're on the lo-fi kind of oi tip, where it's like sounds like it's recorded on a 4-track. And the Templars kind of, I think, were recorded a lot of it on a 4-track. This has that same kind of charm. Memorable songs, very catchy. 14 minutes in and out, just how I like it. This is the second pressing of this, so they obviously are selling some records, which is cool. Yeah, check out Slugger. You can find them on Spotify. Second album we snagged up was this Chubby and the Gang. And what we have here is, this is a UK band, not so much an oi band, but they share a lot of the same influences, I would say. There's a bit of glam in there, there's a little bit of pub rock in there. And they've been around for a couple years now. I believe this is the second album from them, full length. It's good. It was a bunch of dudes that were in a hardcore bands prior, and decided, hey, let's mix it up and start something new. This is what you got. Fantastic. Next album is from a band called Homefront. Now this is a Canadian band that I learned about a couple years ago during the pandemic. We were on the lockdown. My buddy Zach Kaplan hit me up and was like, hey, you should check these guys out. And I did check them out. And I really enjoyed there was one single they released. And I was like, yeah, it's good. And then I kind of forgot about them. And then all of a sudden, I realized, wait a minute. We got a full-length album from these guys. It just came out not long ago. And what this sounds like, it reminds me of Blitz. Kind of the mid-period of Blitz. That was like this new wave sounding music with oi. It's good. Very dancey. It's catchy. I had to import this album from the UK, because that's where the label is. So it was a little bit pricey, but well worth it. I was glad to support the band. So to make it simple, if you like New Order and you throw a little bit of oi and punk rock into that, you would probably love Homefront. Check them out once again on Spotify. Next up, we got The Chisel, and anyone that's into hardcore punk and oi, the Chisel have been on the forefront in the last couple years, making some waves. They've been busy staying at it. I remember the first couple of EPs that came out a couple years ago, and I was like, man, that sounds good, really good. So this is their first full-length album right here, and it reminds me a lot of a Boston band called The Trouble, which had a lot of hardcore punk influence, along with the melodic sing-along, catchy choruses. I don't have much to say. They're from the UK. They're great. It's really inspiring to see some new blood coming out, kind of inspiring people to pick up guitars and form bands again. So Chisel, check them out. All right, this was a pricey one. This band's called Claimed Choice, and they're from France. Once again, I had to import this sucker in. And this is an 8-song EP, full length. I like this. I like when bands kind of like break the ice with a 6-song and 8-song record, short and sweet. You cut off all the filler stuff. It's all great. Make It Right is the lead track on this, and it's the first song that I heard from them, and god damn, so good. A little more melodic than some of these other bands. Bass playing's fantastic. It drives the songs. That's all I have to say about them. Spotify, once again, you can find them there. If you like melodic oi, like this is right up your alley. Last one we added to the collection is a band called Crown Court. Another UK band. What strikes me about these guys is the production on this album. It just sounds so real, so legit. You hear some albums and you could tell, like, you hear a snare drum and it sounds like it's triggered. Like, the snare sounds the same every time. The kick sounds the same. It's all triggered. It's super processed, This doesn't sound like that to me. This sounds like a band in a nice studio with an engineer that knows what they're doing, and it's big. It's big. It sounds full. Once again, and you can find clips of these guys on YouTube performing out live. They're active. I think they're coming to the States here. Not long here. I think they're coming to New York City. Coming up here. I would like to come out, go out and see them. That'd be fun, because they're from the UK, so who knows when they'll come back. Fantastic, though. I love it. Check them out if you don't know them. If you do know them, we're on the same page here. So that's going to wrap up this week's episode. We added a bunch of oi punk bands here. Inspiring stuff, really is. What's my favorite oi album of all time? I'm gonna go out and say it's Shock Troops, Cockspur. Not a dud on this. Every song memorable, sing along, catchy, melodic, guitar hooks. Oh, love it, love it, love it. As far as the modern oi stuff, there's a lot of bands that have kind of sprinkled it in there in their sound. No one better than, I would say, probably the Dropkick Murphys. This first Dropkick Murphys album, oh my god. What did this come out? 97. So I would have been a junior in high school when this came out. Game changer. This album. Once again, every song you knew, sing-alongs, production on this. So funny story, my band, the River City Rebels, we got signed in, 1999. And I was like, we had to find a recording studio to go to. We chose to go to the same studio and work with the same engineer that Dropkicks did because I love this album so much. Jim Siegel is the name of the engineer that produced this album and ours. So yeah, fantastic album. Made me want to pick up my guitar a lot. And I know a lot of kids the same time period all over New England that were hearing this album and being like, there's something brewing. Yeah. Do or Die. Fantastic. Boy punk. So I was going to wrap it up, guys. Hopefully you had a good time learning some stuff or being like, hey, we're on the same page here. Until next week, do what you do, and you toodaloo.
I had this game once. Then my dad got a job.